How I overlooked this game for a guy like me who is a super fan of roguelike games is absolutely beyond me. You just saw a video I posted the other day on Loot River, and this comes to us from the PlayStation side of things. This was actually a PlayStation Plus game that just recently dropped, Curse of the Dead Gods, but it has been out for some time. You can pick it up on pretty much any platform, but I have it for free, courtesy of PlayStation Plus, and holy smokes, am I in love. This game instantly rose to something that absolutely captivated my imagination, based solely on the gameplay alone, how fluid and smooth it is. But when you add in all of the cool risk rewards, when you add in all of the weapons and ways to upgrade your character, and potential paths you'll take as you navigate through this game is just awesome. And that's honestly the best endorsement I could say about this game. If you like roguelike games, you really need to check this out, okay? So, let's talk a little bit about what Curse of the Dead Gods is. It is a top-down roguelike game. It is very action-oriented. You're going to be doing a lot of rolling, a lot of parrying, toggling between a melee weapon, a ranged weapon, some sort of powerful weapon, all while managing a stamina system, all while fighting waves and waves of enemies, managing light of all things. So what makes this game so different than a lot of other games is that you are not able to hold a torch out while you are attacking. You'll notice a lot of times when I enter a room, until I get to an actual place where I can light a brazier with my torch, unfortunately, it's dark. You take significantly more damage in the dark. In addition, you are not able to see a lot of the traps and the environmental hazards, which will undoubtedly be very, very important to avoid. Or, if you're like me, and I'm sure many other people play this way as well, try to set up said environmental traps such that they hurt enemies, not you. So, very, very cool there. That's exciting. I'm excited to have that. So, let's talk a little bit about the combat flow. You got to walk in this game, like I said, all about risk reward. If you walk in and it's dark, you got to run over and as quickly as possible while dodging enemies, try to light a brazier so that you have a light source. You can do attacks and stuff in a defined area. They don't last forever, and they can be destroyed by enemy attacks. So it's important to make sure that when you light the torch, you kind of kite enemies away from the action. Otherwise, you're going to hurt yourself. After that, you're going to get into some really cool combat. You have a stamina system, which depletes as you do every third power attack, every charge-up attack, every dodge roll, things like that. But you do get back stamina quickly when you're not in combat. You also can perk into getting stamina after defeating enemies or a successful parry or potentially a successful dodge roll. There's a lot of great ways to get back into to get back into the system and the flow. But let me tell you, when you are out of stamina and you need to do a roll and you can't, it feels like eternity. It's a risk reward of being elegant in battle and trying to manage this system where you kill enemies faster. And the faster you kill enemies, called a greed kill, the more rewards that you get from killing them. So you're managing all of these things in kind of a sort of time-based attack, but the reality is you can go as slow as you want. There's no rush. You could take as long as you want to defeat enemies, although you're probably going to want to get into a rhythm where you're blowing through rooms at a rapid rate in order to progress and keep some of those great streaks going and to get into the next dungeon and to continue to find more loot and things like that. So that's a kind of core of the one part of the system. The other part of the system that's really a lot of fun is this overarching curse system. That's the meter you see in the bottom right. How that works is every time you leave a room, you take a small amount of curse damage, essentially. Certain enemies could attack you, which also will cause you to take just straight curse damage. And there are also a lot of totems that if you want to receive the boon of extra attack power, a weapon, any kind of perk in the game, if you don't have enough gold, you can basically penalize yourself by taking on more curse, essentially, that allows you to get that boon, quote unquote, for free. Every 100 curse that fills up, and you are given a permanent, at least for that run, detriment to your gameplay. Some of them aren't as bad as others. Some of them are insanely aggravating. There's one that's like a mirror world, where every 15 or so seconds, the game inverts either up, down, left, or right. So in mid-combat, you're going to have to kind of like remap in your head where the traps are, where the room is, because everything switches wildly. I had another one that every time I did a dash, it was this giant cloud of smoke, which was impossible to see where I was. So it essentially made my dash, or my spin, my dodge rolls rather, it made them almost useless. That was a little frustrating, obviously. So these things build up over time, and after you get the 5th one, you're pretty much dead. So yes, you can very quickly power yourself up by taking on these punishments. You can very quickly sacrifice this curse meter to get health at certain shrines, basically for free. You could save your gold for other things, but the reality is at some point you're going to pay the price, and when you do, boy oh boy, are you going to regret it, because you're probably going to die. And here's one of those meters here. You could see I go ahead and tap it, and I will get back some health, but as you can see, I took some more curse. So again, risk reward. That is the mantra of this game. You're going to do something that's going to benefit you in the moment, but it may not benefit you in the long term, and it may be something that is not worth having in the future. So keep that in mind as well. And as you play, so that's kind of like I said, that's kind of the core loop, kind of how everything plays out. Now, where does the roguelike element come in? Well, every time you play one of these games, obviously, you want to be able to carry forward some sort of progress. You want to make the next run easier because you've put in the work. You've unlocked a new class, a new weapon, a new whatever. Well, this game borrows a little bit from a lot of other games in that regard. First and foremost, there's 2 currencies in the game: crystal skulls and these jade rings. The jade rings are used to unlock weapons that get put into your weapon pool. So just like in Dead Cells, think when you basically start and you're looking at all those glass vials above your head of all the weapons you unlock that could be rotated into the game. This is the same thing, but that's what those jade rings are for. So you're going to slowly unlock new weapons, whips, and different types of like powerful weapons. The whip I really, really like. I found this really sweet electric whip the other day in my run, and oh my god, it was just, I couldn't stop using it. It was so amazing. It stunned enemies. It did electric damage. It was like basically the only weapon I used until I unfortunately died. But man, what an awesome weapon to use. But you'll find other weapons that go into your pool. Skulls are a little bit different. Skulls can do a variation of things. They can be passive boosts right away that basically give you something that just lasts throughout the game forever. Like, instead of taking 40% more damage in the darkness, you only take 20% more damage in the darkness. There's a list of abilities like that. There's also a list of these other more long-term, higher-reaching goals that you want to put skulls into, such as when you start the game, there's a couple tables where you can select to begin what your starting loadout is. You can add more tables to the pool so you have more selections at the beginning of the game. Or things like that kind of reward you in other more passive ways. No matter how you play, you will earn rewards. You will earn rings. You will earn skulls. You'll eventually earn that bottom icon on the upper right. I'm not sure what that icon is, but as you defeat bosses, those are also used to unlock even more powerful things. So if you can successfully take out a boss run, to get to the end of the dungeon and take out a boss, that will help you as well. The name of the game here is to do everything in one run, obviously. When you first start off, I think this gameplay is recorded, I think I was like 2 or 3 hours into the game when I started streaming this content here. When you first start off, though, they're just going to piecemeal it. They're going to just be like, okay, just do like starting little dungeon 1, do starting little dungeon 2, and just kind of work your way up. Nothing too dramatic about it. Now, if there's any negative, and I didn't want to say negative because I love this game. I mean, this instantly just shoots up to like Rogue Legacy level, Dead Cells Legacy of just some of my absolute favorite types of these games. The only detriment I can say, if anything, is the story's lacking a little bit, but I don't think you care too much. Basically, you're a dude trapped in a dungeon and you got to find your way out. So you're just going to kill a lot of stuff. There is like a little bit of like lore included, like a bestiary and some other things, but it's ancillary to the story. It doesn't really feel like you're fighting anything with any impact or any reason. And you know, those little tidbits of lore go a long way. Dead Cell, I think the Dead Cells did a phenomenal job of just giving you little snippets of dungeons or little books to read, just little things that kind of painted a picture of what the world was like. This game doesn't have that, unfortunately. That's the only negative thing I could say about it. But wow, what an absolute gem of a game. I have recommended it to every one of my friends. I love it. I am addicted. This is the thing that broke the Elden Ring curse for me of like, what am I going to play when I go upstairs and fire up the PS5? This is between Slay the Spire, which I'll have a review for you guys on that a little bit later on. I'm still kind of chipping through that one. But between that and this, man, Elden Ring is taking a back burner right now. I am in love with this game, and I hope you are too. So leave some comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this game. Let me know your thoughts on other roguelikes if you like them. Like I said, I'm usually pretty good about keeping an eye on these things. I am absolutely floored. I completely overlooked this one, but man, oh man, am I glad I finally got an opportunity to play it. And I wanted to send out a video review and a love letter to it and tell everybody, go check this game out. That's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.